Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is May 8th, 2018. And now the news at noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, photo courtesy of Upper Pine River Fire Protection District. A citation was issued Monday to a La Plata County resident who burned trash in a barrel during a county-wide fire ban, according to the Upper Pine River Fire Protection District. The burned barrel spewed hot ashes that were swept away by the wind, which caught dry grass on fire and spread to a 15-foot by 15-foot shed, said Deputy Chief Roy Vreeland. The shed was destroyed and a nearby recreational vehicle sustained heat damage, he said. The fire was reported around the lunch hour Monday in the 5000 block of County Road 501 north of Bayfield and about a mile south of the Forest Lakes subdivision. La Plata County enacted a Stage 1 fire ban May 1st, which prohibits open burning, burn barrels, and campfires in undeveloped areas, among other activities. Upper Pine Fire Chief Bruce Evans said the warm temperatures, dry conditions, and high winds Monday were probably one of the most unideal times to try burning trash. Vreeland said the shed and the RV are not owned by the person who was doing the burning, which means the fire starter could be liable for damages. The La Plata County Sheriff's Office cites individuals for violating the fire ban. A spokesman for the Sheriff's Office did not return a phone call Monday afternoon seeking comment.
From the Durango Herald, a 21-year-old man from Gallup, New Mexico, who had been missing for several weeks, was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound Sunday near Vallecito Lake, northeast of Durango. The man was identified as Gregory Alexander Winkler, according to La Plata County Coroner Jan Smith. Winkler was from Gallup, but was attending New Mexico State University in Las Cruces when he went missing around mid-April. Recently, Winkler's truck was found parked about 5 miles up Middle Mountain Road. Over the weekend, a search and rescue mission attempted to find Winkler in the area, a heavily forested and remote part of the San Juan Mountains. A family member found Winkler's body Sunday, Smith said, which was about 400 yards from where his truck was parked. Smith said an autopsy will be performed Tuesday. She said Winkler's body had been in the forest for at least several days. Smith was unsure why Winkler was in La Plata County. She also did not know if Winkler suffered from a history of depression. A spokesman with the La Plata County Sheriff's Office did not immediately have information Monday morning about the incident.
Reported by the Durango Herald with a photo from the AP file. Teachers in Pueblo went on strike Monday, shutting down schools in a dispute over how much they should be paid for the school year that's nearly over. The strike comes as frustrated teachers in several states have won pay increases. Teachers in the historically pro-union community want a 2% cost of living raise for the current school year, which was recommended by a fact finder brought in to help reach an agreement. But the school district says it cannot afford another raise for the teachers until the state begins to pay it back next year for underfunding during the recession. Qualified teachers who have been working under an expired contract since August received raises based on their experience and education levels. Teachers turned down last-minute offers of one-time stipends for this year that would have deferred raises until next year. Unlike the stipends, the raises would become a part of the teacher's base pay and starting point for future increases. Teachers won raises in the last 2 years after drawn-out negotiations. They have said they are tired and distrustful of the school district's promises, Union President Suzanne Etheridge said. The district says it would be irresponsible for it to again dip into its reserves to fund teachers' raises. After several years of tense contract talks, Etheridge said he thinks teachers in Pueblo would have voted to strike even without encouragement from the national movement.
Reported in the Journal, courtesy photo, Democratic challenger Carl Hanlon, who seeks U.S. Representative Scott Tipton's seat for the 3rd Congressional House District, is opening an office in Durango that will focus on voter education and mobilization for the June 26th primary. It will be at 1911 Main Avenue in Durango, according to a news release from spokesman Max Doyle. Hanlon has scheduled a grand opening of his Southwest Colorado office for May 9th at 5 p.m., followed by a volunteer training workshop at 6 p.m. A second volunteer training workshop will be held May 12th at 3 p.m. All active Democratic and unaffiliated voters may vote for either the Democratic or Republican slate of candidates in the primary. Hanlon, who grew up on a ranch near the Wyoming border, worked in state park law enforcement before getting his law degree with a focus on Western water policy. He has since had a practice in water and municipal law in Glenwood Springs. The Durango office will coordinate with Democrats in Archuleta, Montezuma, San Juan, and Dolores counties. Hanlon also filed coordinates in Pueblo, Mesa, and La Plata counties.
According to the Durango Herald, with photo by Brendan Mathis with the Herald, Colorado wildlife officials say hikers should give a wide berth to any snakes they encounter after 2 people were bitten by venomous rattlesnakes in parks around Colorado Springs. The Gazette reports the vipers are beginning to emerge en masse from their winter dens as the weather warms. A woman was bitten in the ankle by a rattlesnake at Ute Valley Park last week, and another woman was bit April 28th at Garden of the Gods. Both survived. Tina Jackson with Colorado Parks and Wildlife told the newspaper that rattlers are the state's only venomous snakes. She says the reptiles don't prey on people but will strike if they need to protect themselves. Only one person is known to have died of a snake bite in Colorado since 2014. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather map from NOAA with data from Raytheon Technologies shows that change in the low pressure system moving across the center of the country, causing an expansion of the rain and thunderstorms from the Canadian border through the Central Plains and down into Texas now. Montana has had some extreme flooding of recent, and more rain throughout the area may cause more flooding. Another storm system is coming into the Pacific Northwest off the coast, and scattered thunderstorms continue to linger over the Appalachian Range and part of the Mid-Atlantic. And again, the southern tip of Florida remains in the same pattern of potential rains and storms. Regionally, high pressure will be building over the Great Basin and Central Rockies over the next 36 hours. This will keep dry and very warm conditions in place through Wednesday as we make a run at the warmest temperatures so far this season. Close to 90 degrees heat is anticipated for the lower desert floors in southeast Utah, with mid to upper 80s reaching as far north as the Grand Valley this afternoon and again Wednesday afternoon. Deep afternoon mixing could drive locally gusty winds down to the surface, although peak speeds today look to be under 25 miles an hour with slightly stronger winds possible late Wednesday afternoon as the ridge axis passes east. Also expect a little more cloud coverage on Wednesday in the afternoon. Another warm day is in store for Thursday as the western slope will be still under the influence of high pressure to the east, with upper 80s expected for many lower central and southern Colorado valleys, while some southeast Utah valleys will enjoy low 90-degree weather. Southwest flow will increase somewhat as a weak short wave moves across the northern Rockies, clipping our northwest corner, resulting in isolated thunderstorms across the north late Thursday afternoon into the evening. However, these storms will be of the dry variety, with lightning and gusty winds the primary concerns, and we don't need any of that down here. A trough of low pressure will drive southward from the Pacific Northwest into the Great Basin Friday into Saturday. Precipitation chances will increase across northeast Utah and northwest Colorado, mainly areas north of I-70, with a bit of cooling for most areas. High temperatures will be some 10 degrees cooler on Friday compared to Thursday across the north and central part of the state, with less noticeable cooling across the south. This weekend and beyond is uncertain, as an upper low over the Great Basin this weekend through early next week is possible, with the ridge of high pressure moving into the west and across the Pacific Northwest, forming a bit of a Rex block, which causes a dry slot to move over much of our area Saturday through Monday. So precipitation looks to stay mainly over the northern mountains in this pattern, with very high snow levels and dry, breezy conditions each afternoon, but that outlook is still up in the air, as we say. So the local DCTV 5-day outlook says today, sunny with a high near 78 degrees, northwest winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, clear with a low around 51 degrees, northwest winds 5 to 10, becoming east after midnight. Wednesday, mostly sunny, warming up to a high near 82, east winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 49 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10, becoming south-southeast after midnight. And then Thursday, sunny again and warm, a high near 83, breezy with a south-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles an hour, increasing to 15 to 20 miles an hour in the afternoon. And winds then could gust as high as 30 miles an hour. Thursday night, it's mostly clear with a low around 50. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 76 degrees and breezy. Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 46 and breezy. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 66. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 40. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 66. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 41. And now, back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, courtesy photo, Pueblo Community College has created a division of nursing to accommodate growing demands and the addition of a bachelor's degree in nursing, according to a news release. The division will begin operations on July 1st under Paula Kirschner, interim director of the nursing program. The programs that will be included in the division are nursing, surgical technology, psychiatric technician, medical assistant, nurse aide, and certified addiction counselor. We are well positioned so that as we move forward with our Bachelor of Science degree in nursing, our dedicated team on all of our campuses can focus on filling the skills gap in this vital profession, PCC President Patty Erzsébet said. Kirschner graduated from PCC's nursing program in 1994 and received a bachelor's degree in nursing from Colorado State University, Pueblo in 2006 and a master's from Regis University in 2011. After working as a registered nurse at Parkview Medical Center for 22 years, Kirschner returned to PCC as a faculty member in 2011. She has been interim director since October 2017.
Reported by CPR, posted in the Durango Herald, photo credit Brennan Lindsley, CPR News. Colorado has been ground zero for marijuana legalization nationwide, but now that other states are looking into medicinal marijuana or to outright legalize recreational consumption, many of the nation's policymakers are getting key facts wrong about the state's cannabis market. But like all things in hyper-partisan Washington, D.C., it really depends who you ask. Pro-cannabis lawmakers across the U.S. point to Colorado as the gold standard, even green standard for the nation. Opponents, unsurprisingly, see things quite differently. I think it's terrible, and I think it proliferates marijuana all over the Midwest, said Iowa Republican Representative Steve King. He said it's causing all kinds of social problems in Colorado, and wherever it's proliferated, it's causing social problems, and it's part of the defiance of federal law. King is correct. The police have busted rings of people trying to smuggle marijuana out of Colorado to other states. Neighboring states have complained. But for King to claim a rise in social problems is a stretch. A recent pilot study from Colorado State University Pueblo's Institute of Cannabis Research took on some of the stereotypes of social impact. The backdrop to the national debate on marijuana is the opioid crisis, which continues to rage in Colorado and elsewhere. No one knows why some crime has ticked up in the state since legalization took root, like auto thefts and even the murder rate, while others have gone down, like property crimes. Other federal policymakers have latched on to the notion that marijuana legalization in Colorado has been devastating to drivers in the state. I think the experience in Colorado indicates that there may have been an increase in auto accidents, said Republican Leonard Lance of New Jersey, who supports medicinal marijuana. All I know is that they got a whole lot more instances of drugged driving. Republican Andy Harris of Maryland, a pot legalization opponent, said, and that's a danger. Those claims beg the question of where lawmakers are getting their data. In 2017, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety released a study showing accidents were up by 3% in Colorado since voters allowed recreational marijuana, while the American Journal of Public Health released a study showing no increase in auto accidents due to marijuana. Critics also say the tests showing marijuana in drivers are flawed because THC stays in people's bodies for as long as a month. Still, some lawmakers in the nation's capital are talking about Colorado edibles. I think Colorado made a lot of mistakes, such as allowing marijuana to be in edible form, Maine Republican Senator Susan Collins said, a moderate's moderate whose state just legalized marijuana for recreational purposes. She told CPR News this. There have been numerous false reports of young adults overdosing from edibles, but while those have garnered national headlines in many anti-pot publications, Even the DEA says there have been no overdoses tied to THC. So it seems there are two takeaways from pulling a random splattering of the nation's political class on Colorado's pot scene. For one, don't leave your cannabis out around kids of any age. And secondly, the nation really needs more data and studies on marijuana, because for every study supporting marijuana, there seems to be one opposing it. That has proponents calling on Attorney General Jeff Sessions to relax the hurdles keeping federally funded research institutes from researching pot. In the meantime, many Colorado politicians are trying to educate their colleagues on the state's thriving marijuana market, even if they're a tad annoyed by all the cherry picking of studies.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with photos by Jerry McBride with the Herald. In just a few years, a century-old apple orchard that had been neglected and fallen into disrepair has been made whole again at the old Fort Lewis campus near Hesperus. The history of the apple orchard at the old fort is a bit of a mystery. From 1880 to about 1891, the site of the old fort was home to Fort Lewis, which served as a station for about 600 men posted about 25 miles southwest of Durango to protect the western settlers. For about 2 decades after that, the old fort became a boarding school for Native Americans. Then, from around 1910 to 1934, the site was the location of Fort Lewis High School. Around this time, it's believed the orchard at the old fort was planted, but Schoenemeyer said no one is really sure about the history of the orchard or who organized the intricate planting style. Researchers dug through tons of archives to no avail. Schoenemeyer said some think the orchard was used to experiment with different varieties of apples to see what kinds could withstand the region's cold climate and high elevation. Yet there's no disputing that the orchard is one of the region's unique and innovative plantings, Schoenemeyer said. Some DNA tests, a relatively new technology that was a vast improvement from the old way of identifying apples by sight, showed apples at the old fort that were previously thought to be extinct. Going forward, organizers with the orchard hope to use it as an educational place for students. They would like to see the apples sold at markets or perhaps more opportunistically sold to the new cider company in Mancos.
From the Denver Channel, photos from the Denver Channel. A robotic geologist armed with a hammer and quake monitor rocketed toward Mars on Saturday, aiming to land on the red planet and explore its mysterious insides. In a twist, NASA launched the InSight Mars lander from California rather than Florida's Cape Canaveral. It was the first interplanetary mission ever to depart from the West Coast, drawing pre-dawn crowds to fog-socked Vandenberg Air Force Base and rocket watchers down the California coast into Baja over the weekend. The spacecraft was designed and built in Littleton, Colorado. It will travel 300 million miles over the next 6 months before landing on Mars. Lockheed Martin's InSight spacecraft team leader, Pieter Kellerman, met with Denver 7 on Saturday to discuss mission specifics. He explained rovers have already explored the surface of Mars, but the lander will allow scientists to literally dig deeper and learn how the planet was formed. When it lands in November of this year, it will deploy 2 instruments to the surface of Mars. One, a sensitive seismometer by French Space Agency that will essentially help scientists determine what Mars' crust is like, the depth of its mantle, and the nature of its core. The second is a heat flow probe, so it will burrow down 5 meters below the surface and carry with it a long strip of temperature sensors. Engineers have programmed the spacecraft to do the work autonomously. Of course, InSight needs to first land successfully. He said this mission will help us understand how rocky planets, those 4 inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, how they were formed. The spacecraft will take more than 6 months to get to Mars and start its unprecedented geologic excavations, traveling 300 million miles to get there. InSight will dig deeper into Mars than ever before, nearly 16 feet, to take the planet's temperature. And it will also attempt to make the first measurements of Mars quakes using a high-tech seismometer placed directly on the Martian surface. That's the real payoff of this whole mission, and that's still lying ahead of us, said the mission's chief scientist, Bruce Bernard, of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, founded by Jack Parsons years ago. If all goes well, the 3-legged InSight will descend by parachute and engine firings onto a flat equatorial region of Mars, believed to be free of big, potentially dangerous rocks, on November 26. Once down, it will stay put, using a mechanical arm to place the science instruments on the surface. Bernard said Mars is ideal for learning how the rocky planets of our solar system formed 4.5 billion years ago. Unlike our active Earth, Mars hasn't been transformed by plate tectonics and other processes, he noted. Insight might also help explain why some planets like ours went on to develop life while others did not. Over the course of 2 years or 1 Martian year, now you'd have to think about why that is and get back to me, NASA expects InSight's 3 main experiments to provide a true 3D image of the interior of Mars. I guess that's if they haven't remote viewed it extensively already.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of April 30th through May 6th. A deputy responded to a request for a welfare check on a county resident. All was okay. Received a report of a tenancy problem. Received a report of a possible break-in the Egner area. San Miguel County was notified. A report received of possible break-in in town. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings, May 9th. Join Logan Sizam with the Utah Division of Emergency Management and learn what it means to be business ready. Learn to prepare your business to bounce back after a natural disaster, active shooter, cyber threat, and many other hazards. Attend the San Juan County Preparedness Fair in Utah. They'll have the toolkit and expertise available exclusively for the business owners of San Juan County. RSVP to aplatt@sanjuancounty.org or call them at 435-587-3235. May 12th from 2 to 6 p.m. there will be a chili dinner silent auction fundraiser for Nancy Dave's, Willie D's, for medical expenses. It will be held at the Luis Arreola Community Center in Cortez. Dinner includes chili crackers or Frito pie, cheese, onions, dessert, and drink. Donations only. For more information, contact Margaret Daves, 970-739-0028, or Linda Raymert at 970-739-0556. And May 12th, it's Boogie Down Hospice of Montezuma Golf Tournament from 12 to 4 p.m. This signature fundraising event is a 5-man shotgun format with at least 1 lady or 1 junior required. Prizes will be awarded for fun and unique hole contests. Entry fees are $40 per player, which includes lunch, range balls, and lots of great prizes. Greens fees and carts are extra. Through your local support, the staff has been able to provide 6,814 days of care to over 100 patients throughout Dolores and Montezuma counties in 2017. Call the golf course at 970-565-9208 to register a team or an individual. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us by email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out online on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.